Savage corrugations have struck a killer blow on the switchroom's trailer. Disaster. In Katanning, Western Australia, oversized specialist Yogi is getting set for an exhausting 7,000-kilometre, 2-week stint on the road.
Let's go, eh? Driving away, you know, leaving the family, and every trip is the hardest bit, you know, and this is the hardest bit.
On his latest run, he's got a mixed bag of machinery and parts to deliver.
Good job, mate.
Starting with this rare 65-year-old tractor sold to a private collector. Restored, it'll be worth $18,000.
Oh, I'm happy. Yeah, good result.
From farms around Katanning, Yogi will collect his freight before tackling the long road east to make multiple deliveries ending in Mount Macedon. He's barely started and already he's feeling the pressure.
If we don't get all loaded today, we don't leave in the morning. If we don't leave in the morning, we're half a day behind.
And that will keep 5 different customers waiting.
You know you're going into a big farm when you come into a massive big driveway. Someone's driveway, 5 k's long.
Yogi's here to pick up a hay bale stacker.
Trying to find the machine.
But there's no sign of man or machine. Yogi calls his customer.
Collindale on the fence road. Yeah, righto. All right, mate. Okay. Oh, we're in the wrong place.
It's a costly blunder.
We won't get it finished loaded today. We'll have to load in the morning. So we're half a day behind now, so it's just cost me time and money.
At a loading yard in Katanning, Yogi's up to his neck in ugly freight.
Ugly freight is something that no one else will touch. It's making a load out of something, you know, like a lawnmower and a bale stacker and a vintage tractor, you know, made a load out of it.
Getting the pieces to fit is a giant jigsaw puzzle.
You go down, Matty, we'll see if it's slot in that little hole there.
Making it stay on, a constant headache.
Righto, I think that's a wrap. I don't think there's much more we can do here.
His trailer's bursting at the seams. But there's still more to go on.
So, right, we're back on the game face. We're just coming into Esperance now. I've got two pallets to chuck on here. One's a motor and one's a windscreen.
It looks well packed, but this windscreen for a harvester has got Yogi rattled.
Now, if it doesn't sit there and starts flapping around, we've had a bit of problem.
It's the only one of its kind in Australia, and to stay in one piece, it has to be transported vertically. Yogi's making one final check of his ugly load before hitting the vast emptiness of the Outback.
I think it's okay.
He's still got 2,800 kilometres left to drive and just 3 days to do it.
We're on to the unloading now, so now it's the business end of the deal.
After 4 days and 2,000 kilometres, Yogi's at his first drop-off in Streaky Bay, South Australia.
Righto.
The mower is off, but the next unload has Yogi worried.
Righto, moment of truth. Let's go and unload the windscreen.
Yogi will only know the fate of this one-of-a-kind windscreen when he opens the box.
Righto. It's about 5 degrees here this morning. I'm sweating. Let's have a look in there. Yeah. It's happy days. All good. Yeah, right.
Delivery number 2 safe and sound.
So this next drop we've got is on South Road in Adelaide.
South Road is one of Adelaide's busiest streets.
I'm a little bit concerned that we might end up just blocking a lane.
Yogi will be unloading on the side of the road in rush hour traffic.
South Road. We want South Road. Oh,
He needs to be on the other side of the road.
I've got to do a bit of a shifty right, left, left, left to get to it. This looks a little bit blocked up, doesn't it? Oh, no way, man.
Damage one of these cars, and this job could get really ugly. Through the parked cars and straight back into moving ones.
Righto, righto, righto. Trickiest bit of the unload, we're going to block South Street. I've got to be right on his driveway so we can get unloaded, so.
He has to be quick. It's a small delivery, but Yogi's big truck is now blocking a lane.
Righto. Geez, that would have been 5 minutes.
Making money delivering multiple loads to multiple customers isn't easy. Just 300 kilometres away are his mum and dad, and Yogi's planned a surprise visit. But first, he has to deliver the last of his ugly load. This 1951 vintage tractor has travelled 3,500 kilometres to its new home.
Look at that. Right, that's a wrap.
We're finished. We've had a crack. It's been a big day. Been a big couple of days, but we're going to see my family. So today is a good day.
There's one final drop-off before he can say job done. His laundry at his mum's.
This year, distributed 3.5 hours a cut. Yo! There you go. Hello.
Just as well I finish my washing, isn't it? Hello, Glenn.
There you go. Good to see you.
For husband and wife team Nick and Joe Atkins, it's the challenge that draws them.
It's one of the few dirt roads that you can still run on, and you know, we'd rather be up here than anywhere else.
From Kununurra, they'll deliver 3 trailers of vital supplies to stations along the way to Columbaroo, before the final delivery at Honeymoon Bay Fishing Camp. It adds up to 550 brutal kilometres through a wilderness 3 times the size of England. Truck deliveries out here are crucial for life.
General freight, fuel, avgas, mostly jet and diesel, and just stores for the shop up there.
30 tonnes of essential provisions, including 22 drums of volatile fuel.
Stuff that doesn't really travel that well on a road like Columbaroo Road. Let's make a move.
First, 75 kilometres of smooth bitumen. But then, the dirt begins. The gib is in bad shape.
And this is one of the rough spots through here. It's always rough. As rough as anything.
After 8 hours of this, Nick and Joe have taken a hammering.
Makes you pretty weary at the end of the day, sitting on corrugations all day.
The track's also taking its toll on their truck.
Just got low coolant level coming up. We must be getting low on water.
Outside, it's over 40 degrees.
Just a couple of bottles, hey, and I'll fill them up.
And Nick and Joe's engine has a sudden first. A mystery water leak has drained 3 litres from the radiator. Nick's worried the problem could get worse.
Well, it seems to be blowing all back over the motor, so it's leaking up the front there somewhere.
The leaking radiator's getting worse. But Nick thinks he's found a fix.
Basically liquid steel, really. Just physically just go over the core of the radiator and then hopefully block the hole. I can't really see the hole properly.
Well, we'll see how that goes.
And right on cue,
We've still got a problem with this low water light keeps coming on.
this time it takes a whopping 15 litres to fill her up. But now it's not the radiator.
It's not bad going.
This leak is coming from somewhere else.
Fix one leak and then a water pump starts. I might just have to order a new pump from Theta and get it flown in Columbaroo.
Next morning, and Nick's hatched a plan to prolong the life of his dying water pump.
It can't be any worse than it already is.
Load it full of grease.
Stop a bit of that water from running out of that water pump, at least till we get to Theta.
Theta, the next station, is now only 40 kilometres away. But the way his truck's performing, it might as well be 400.
But it is a pretty poor excuse for a road, really. I'll just pull up your steer where it's a bit wider.
Another mechanical failure could be the final blow. They still haven't got to the bottom of the distressing sound under the bonnet.
Something that's not right, so I'll come and have a look.
But right now, it's a puzzle Nick doesn't have time to solve. This freight for the general store needs to be offloaded. All that's left now is to deliver 10 drums of fuel to a remote fishing camp, just 30 kilometres north.
Come on, old girl.
Married couple, Nick and Joe Atkins, have been stopped dead in their sandy tracks. And now they're stuck, right on the doorstep to their destination.
Make a bit of a track for myself. If I turn the steering too much, it'll just bog itself even more. I'll get up on that little bit of a hard spot there off the right.
The truck and trailer weighs over 30 tonnes. Getting through this will take all of Nick's 30 years' experience.
Come on, baby. You might have got it.
It's time to offload the last of their freight. Vital fuel for this remote camping ground. A noise from under the bonnet has got Nick worried.
That's the problem.
Crucial bolts holding the engine in place have broken. If they can't fix this, the whole engine could shake loose. Time to start the long road home.
Rightio. We're ready to go.
The last thing they wanted to hear. Even topped up, the engine temperature isn't dropping.
Mm.
250 kilometres from the nearest mechanic, at the hottest and driest time of the year, trucking bliss has turned into trucking hell.
Dirty mongrel thing.
For the dry road ahead, they'll need all the water they can carry.
can only hope for the best. Come on, old girl, give us a good day.
If it all goes well, just a day's drive now stands between Nick and Joe and home.
Now the engine cooling temp might come on.
They've only driven 3 kilometres.
Might be pulling up here and might be doing that water pump, might have no bloody choice. I think you're just losing too much water out of that water pump, I think.
This truck is refusing to go any further.
Oh, she's just shut down.
Next day, in the town of Kununurra, Nick and Joe have expensive repair bills weighing on their minds. But a friend has come to their aid to retrieve their load.
Good stroke of luck, mate's got this truck here, so I'll just grab that, I'll just poke it along, treat it like my own and see how we go. As long as the water problem don't occur. Good. That's got it.
With all 3 trailers, the borrowed tip truck will be over length. Nick and Joe need to squeeze their freight onto 2.
And that way, that's all our freight back to town. Just come forward a bit.
And lay them along the fork, that way. Oh, sorry.
This nightmare trip is starting to take its toll.
Joanna!
What?
It only has to go where the forks are sitting. That's it. Just put them straight along the forks. Don't stick them out like that.
That's what I did before and you said not to.
Up there and wriggle the back of that car. From side to side.
Nick and Joe are now 36 hours overdue. And they're staring down the barrel of yet another day disappearing.
Pass the trailer.
Reloading onto their mate's truck should have taken an hour. They've been at it for 4 and counting.
Yeah, plenty of room at the back.
What about the front?
I'll just have a look, wait. Yeah, keep going, keep going.
After 7 years in the business, this trip is proving to be one of the toughest.
I reckon it was our second worst trip in 7 years, but I think possibly it's heading up towards first place.
Tempers are just getting short. Well, my temper is, I know that.
Hang down my car.
Come here. I'm sorry.
At last, this load is ready for the final push.
Rightio, ready to make a move.
Their loader and broken truck will have to wait. The priority now is the freight. With 20 extra tons of weight on board, Nick's hoping for a less rough ride out of here.
I hope it's a little bit smoother than last night, I hope.
But the Gibb River Road isn't done with them yet.
Oh, kicks like a mule. Just bucks at the back over these corrugations. End up with a concertina playing at the back. Been a bit of a nightmare, this one.
The Gibb River Road is still torturing Nick and Joe.
Won't be getting none of this unloaded today.
100 kilometres of bone-jarring track has taken 5 long hours.
30k on the dirt and then we're on the bitumen.
But finally, they're approaching civilization and relief from the road.
Just over there.
Yeah, be very happy when we get there.
In all their years of trucking together, this journey has been the worst.
Oh, yeah. This one didn't go to plan, this one, but we've done our job, so, you know, I'm happy with that. The customer should be happy, I'm happy, and now I just got to sort out my truck.
Nice to be home.
It is nice to be home.
After months of being cut off, there's a break in the weather. Roads have reopened, and Jason's clients are desperate for his fuel.
This time of the year it's like playing Russian roulette when you're trying to get fuel into people in the bush, because the weather can change in 5 minutes.
Jason will be the first road train to attempt the run this year, but he knows his window of opportunity could close fast.
You don't have time to muck around this time of the year. You sort of want to get in, get your job done and get back out onto the bitumen.
With 93,000 litres of diesel on board, enough to fill 1,500 cars,
Everything's good to go.
Jason needs to get moving. One thunderstorm and this diesel Mercy Dash could be delayed for weeks. But just a few kilometres outside of town, gridlock.
There's a fair few pulled up here, so something obviously drastic has happened. All we can see from here is something's rolled over onto the left-hand side table drain, and they've got tarps up. Really can't see nothing. I don't want to walk down there and have a look either. We've had a delay now, so all we can do is, just keep trucking along and just see what the rest of the day brings us now. There's no such thing as making up time.
After a day and a half of solid driving, Jason's reached the start of the dirt.
There's been no road trains on this dirt road this year.
He's the first out here. For 53 metres of road train, this is uncharted territory.
Even though we've got dust still blowing up behind us, underneath it's still moist. We should be fine as long as you don't break through.
But up ahead, a damaged section where another vehicle has broken through.
Got a little bit of a dark section up here on the road. It could be a bit of a wet spot.
Slow down now and Jason risks getting bogged. Time to floor it.
As long as you keep your momentum going. It's fairly cut up coming through there, and it was still a bit damp underneath. You can feel the truck sort of half sinking all the time.
He's made it to his first fuel drop. Urandangi, population 60.
There's a bit of relief there.
Next crucial
How are you
job,
going? I'll just put Jason on for you.
getting word from a station manager on the condition of the road ahead.
Is that road open or closed over that way? Yeah, the only thing is if I get bogged in this other bog hole over here, I've got nothing to pull me out. I'll give you a call before I leave here.
Excellent, mate. Thank you.
Righto, Ryan.
Righto, Jason.
Bye, mate.
Yeah.
Bye.
What's the river doing?
It's at 0.8.
Hell, you won't get through there.
No, not today, but no, he's talking.
It's not the news he wanted. The way forward is blocked by nearly a metre of water flowing over the road.
If I get stuck in there, there's nothing really to pull me out. I'm sort of on my own. The truck's too busy to get with a shovel.
We're just coming up to the end of the bitumen on the Donahue Highway. Say goodbye to our hard black stuff and hello over to the different coloured rough stuff.
He's on the dirt, and for the first time in 3 days, there's not a cloud in the sky. Jason can start thinking about offloading some fuel.
The first delivery we'll do will probably be about 6 hours' time.
But just as he's settling into a long, straight drive,
Yeah, got you, buddy.
news from a council worker.
Yeah, the river's 600 over up there, mate.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, mate.
Over half a metre of water on the road ahead. Too much for his truck to power through.
This is what I said back there, mate. I said it's fucking still open, mate.
Yeah.
Because I've been up here every day looking at it, mate. And
Have you?
it's not dropping fast. I nearly got caught up here the other day. I'll be back up in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'll check it out again in the morning. I want to go across before you fellas go across it.
Jason's only option. Wait some more. Next morning, and the water levels have dropped. Jason wants to go, but the council arrive, having checked the crossing.
He's here now, so we'll see what the verdict is. It's below 0.4.
It's touch and go.
He's leaving up to my call to go through. So yeah, no, we'll give it a go.
Jason's backing himself to make it across.
Feels a little bit soft, but hopefully it'll be okay. We just go into it steady and don't do anything silly.
It's critical he hits it with enough speed. Too slow, and he could get stuck. Slippery climb out of the river. Trouble.
See, all this water up here is from fucking people racing through here fast in cars, carting the water up the fucking bank. But I come through too slow. If I come through with a bit more pace.
Frustrating hour, a local station owner arrives with some serious pulling power. Jason's relying on the stiff bar to hitch up to the grader. There's just one problem. It doesn't fit.
I got a chain there.
How big a chain?
Not big at all, and far from ideal for pulling 130 tonnes of bogged road train. If it snaps, Jason will have run out of options. And at last, it's all clear ahead.
Everything's open the way we want to go.
Finally, he's made it to his most remote customer.
Hey mate, there you go. So both these tanks?
For station manager Peter, it's a massive relief.
Pretty urgent for it. Been missing the last couple of runs.
16,000 litres of black gold.
Makes you feel good every time you can do a delivery in the wet season.
Job done. Oversized specialist Mark Cromwell is under a shed load of pressure, delivering this heavy, expensive and fragile switch room into the middle of nowhere.
Logistically, the most remote mine site in Australia. To get there is extremely difficult.
Mark hits a precious stretch of bitumen. The Stewart Highway is the only sealed road through the middle of Australia, a vital lifeline between north and south, with trucks pounding 24/7. And hot on Mark's heels, a fuel tanker in a hurry.
So we're going to hold our line. He doesn't want us going all over the road left and right. He wants us nice and straight.
There's only 2.5 metres of road to spare, the exact width of the truck. It's the infamous Tanami track.
These are just notoriously the worst corrugations in the country. Yeah, now the mental torture starts. And I know we're 2.5 days away. You can't go any faster than 5.6.
It's frustration in motion. Just one option remains to make up time.
You can see where the trucks are been driving right up on the shoulder of the road, just trying to get as far up out of the corrugation as possible.
Driving on the soft shoulder may be faster, but it's a path fraught with danger.
Yeah, well, you got to be very careful when you run on the side of the road in this soft stuff, because it might feel sort of firm in one bit and the next minute it'll just grab hold of the steer and rip you off into it. And by the time you try and catch it, you're in too deep and you'll just get bonked. Oh, no. We're in a world of trouble. They got bugged. That's exactly what I was talking about. The time I was trying to gain, I would have now added to it, so.
Getting 50 tonnes of freight out of this bog will take a lot of grunt. Hopefully one stiff barge. And 600 more horsepower is enough.
Give me a little reverse.
Yep.
A short rollback to firm up the dirt.
Rightio, hold it there.
Now, the moment of truth.
Righto, Mark.
Yeah, mate. All's coming on.
For the entire morning, they've barely averaged a walking pace. The truck and trailer are taking a hammering. Then suddenly,
Holy shit, we're doing a lead now, mate.
disaster. Savage corrugations have struck a killer blow on the switchroom's trailer.
The old trailer hasn't liked the dirt too much, and we've dropped a leg clean out the back of it.
A steering leg has been ripped clean off. For Mark's offsider, Matt, it's a waking nightmare.
Just Todd saying stop, 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 and that was it.
All around, it's a trail of destruction. Fittings and hoses lie scattered. Air lines are cut. Brakes jammed on.
Just tape them so that the zip ties will zip tight close the air lines. Not good at all. We have a vehicle coming in the distance. Here's to hoping it's our boss. Prognosis is extremely bad.
Yeah.
Extremely bad.
It's a bit like if you're in a motorbike accident and then you look and one part of your body's over there and you're over there. It's pretty much it. Not good.
While Mark's lost 4 tyres and a giant piece of undercarriage, his trailer should still be drivable.
Skull drag that over there, and that will then be the topic of Tanami conversation.
Mark's battered convoy can crawl on. More weight is now bearing down on his remaining wheels. Mark will have to be extra careful. A tall order on the Tanami in the wake of a storm.
We've got up to our first real bog hole.
This 3-ton car makes it look easy. Mark's 100-ton rig could have a harder time.
And brake traction, I haven't got in it. I'm stuck.
His only hope is to shift the 50-ton load forward, using the trailer's hydraulics and putting more weight on the truck's drive tyres.
And that isn't happening either. Put more on. Lots more on.
Maximum weight. It's now or never.
That's better.
He's backed out. But this 50-ton building still needs to plough through.
A bit nervous on the entrance because she just was a bit greasy.
After a disastrous few hours, the switch room can roll on. At last, a sight for sore eyes. The gold mine is only a few hundred metres away. Just past this quagmire.
Right before the turn off, there's a great big bog hole. If we get bogged here, this is going to be fucking embarrassing. Oh, don't you dare.
After 6 days of trucking torture, he's made it.
We are here. This is a joyous moment in every Tanami truck driver's life when they can flick the left indicator. That means the end.
It's been 2,000 kilometres of non-stop stress. Moving this heavy, fragile and urgent freight up a brutalising dirt track.
Just relief, because it's been quite a long, mentally taxing trip.
But now, Mark can take a load off.
Yibbida yibbida, that's all folks.